Hey everybody, Joel, ImportSauce.com, and today we wanted to show you what's in this giant box over here. It is the Elevate External Oil Cooler. Had this thing on our list for a while. We're going to go ahead and do a product overview and an unboxing, so stick around and let's see what we find. Okay, so the lighting is terrible in here. Frontward facing camera is garbage, but we wanted to bring this product overview to you. We are in the middle of the T5 forged, sleeved engine rebuild. And the external oil cooler from Elevate has been on our product list. There's only a few things left we have to do. The big brake kit for the front from them, as well as the K16 engine and turbo upgrade. So we did buy the factory replacement oil cooler, but as time was going on, the machine shops were taking a lot longer on this guy to get it back to us. They said 4 weeks. Today, when we picked it up, it's almost 13 weeks. So, you know, quite a bit. We had time, save up extra parts money, and we figured, hey, the oil cooler is something that we might as well do. The engine's out. It's brand new. We got all this money put into the sleeves, to the internals, to all the accessories. Let's just get the oil cooled down and let's give it the best possible chance to keep that engine strong and healthy. So what we're going to do is 2 videos. This first one here is going to be a product overview. We'll hop down, we'll take a quick look at the Elevate website and see what they have here. And then we're going to unbox this thing and see what arrived. Spoiler alert, I did open it, but as we unboxed it will be exactly the way that it came to us. So let's go ahead and take a look at Elevate's overview, and then after that we will pan back in and take a look at unboxing and how this thing actually looks.
We are over here at elevatecars.com. We have dialed into the external oil cooler. And real quick, we'll just take a look at the product gallery. Here's everything that comes in the packaging, everything that you're purchasing, right? So we have the oil cooler, we have the fittings, the adapter plate, which is going to go on the back of the oil pan, the hoses that will get it from the oil pan up to the cooler and back to the oil pan there, as well as the coolant bypass loop hose and all the hardware and fittings to get that going. We have some different views here. Here we can see the fittings are actually installed both on the oil cooler and the adapter plate. Here's a close-up of the cooler, and here's a picture of it installed there on the core support right in front of the radiator. And then this is where the actual factory oil cooler is mounted up to your oil pan, but now we will have this bypass that routes along the lower charge pipe to the intercooler, and then it's going to go up to the mounting position there. So overall, just quick features here. This is, you know, what you would expect from Elevate. They are using the Strab oil cooler. They are using all US made hoses, brackets, fittings. This is going to increase the oil capacity of the system, so keep that in mind when you're doing oil changes. You're going to have to get a little bit of extra oil. We did see the bypass hose. You can get that in the various colors there. And then, as we saw in the pictures, all of the hardware, the gaskets, and nice instructions that came with that. Here's where you can pick your color. All right, so it goes through and they have some different information on there about just kind of the components of that. Some of the main things that we wanted to look at was just, you know, the factory oil cooler, as Elevate states here. It does help a bit to keep the temperature of the oil a little bit cooler, right? I mean, I guess it would be better than nothing, but at the same time, right, that oil cooler is attached to the actual engine, so it's right up against your engine, and we know how hot that gets. And then also it's being cooled by coolant, which is, you know, not room temperature. The coolant is going to be in the hundreds of degrees is there, so getting that out, and they put that on. It suffices for, you know, production and what the factory has to do to, you know, just kind of to keep it a little bit cooler, but it's not, you know, a performance application there. So what Elevate did is just get rid of that oil cooler, do the adapter plate, and move everything up to the main front grille where you have all that airflow coming through. As they mentioned, Elevate does have the oil cooler adapter plate for sale, but be mindful that there are oil coolers out there that are a third of the price. But you know, let's not buy an eBay oil cooler and expect it to perform the same. With these, Elevate has used the same manufacturer that is obviously, so we have them over in Sweden, but they are the OE supplier of the Aston Martin, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and some of the other performance divisions there too. So you know that you are getting a quality cooler. And it kind of goes through the product description about, how the adapter plate is made and the fittings and all of that. We're going to take a close look at that when we do the unboxing here in a bit. We did see the coolant loop hose as well. We're going to show you a close-up on that, where that comes from and how that's going to be installed in the installation video as well. As always, since you're going to be opening it up at the oil pan level when you're doing the install, you might as well change your oil and filter, because it is one of the lowest parts of the engine, and you're probably going to lose a lot of your oil. So just drain it and do your oil change at the same time. So this is the overview here. We are going to go down and let's open this thing up and let's show it to you in person.
We are back. Okay, so initially when this box came, I said, what the heck is in this thing, man? I mean, just compared to the chair size or, my sandal size, this thing is a massive box. So let's go ahead and we sliced it open, and what we have is what you expect from Elevate. Obviously a ton of shipping material that keeps this thing super protected and solid during shipping. Okay, so the first thing, let's go ahead and pull this out. What is it? I don't know. Set it on the table, right? And be patient. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Most of the stuff that comes from Elevate, if not all, is aside from the bubble wrap that we pulled out, is wrapped in these foam, I guess I'll call them pillowcases, right? So they're on there, they're folded over, they're taped. So aside from the initial packaging that you get that makes sure that nothing's moving around, everything is then separated on each layer, and everything is individually wrapped. So you know that when you get it, it's going to be in good shape. Let's go ahead and open this up. And this is the oil line, right? So this stuff is super thick and strong. We have the external protected braiding on there. We have a sufficient amount of line that's going to be able to run up to the front core support and back to the back of the engine oil pan and block area where this actually mounts up. Just feeling this, it's got some good, it's not too heavy, but trying to squeeze on this or trying to put, this is a really solid line. In here we can see the hose. This is quality stuff. This is not cheap stuff. So that was the first thing that we saw in there, right? Let's put that there on top of the block and come back over here. Okay, next thing, we got more wrap to make sure that whatever is underneath is protected as well. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of things here. Let's pull these out and see, and look at that. Even wrapped, the whole box is wrapped. This stuff is protected on shipping. Okay, we have some zip ties. Just on the product images, I did see that these lines are going to be held up on your lower turbo pipe that goes from the turbo up to the intercooler, and that is the housing that it's going to follow, and then those are going to keep it secured onto that. We have our return or bypass hose, right? So on the back of the oil cooler, there's an in and an out, and on the new external, it's just oil going into there. So you have to plug or bypass those two holes on the back of the tube, and we'll see that on the second video when we do the install, so that there is obviously not a plug or not a hole, but the coolant that would have went to the factory oil cooler is still going to be able to flow. And this comes with, as always, and many other Elevate products, choice of hose color. We went with black. Next, we have the fittings for the hoses, right? So two of these are, let's open that up all the way. Two of these are going to go onto the oil cooler, and two of them are going to go onto the adapter plate. So essentially the adapter plate, we'll take a look at there in a second, is going to go onto the back of the oil pan, is actually where it mounts up to, where your oil cooler currently is, the factory one. And then these two, or these two, I don't know, they all look the same, are going to go into there, hook up to your hose, go all the way up to the front core support oil cooler, and then loop all the way back to that. The other two are going to be on the actual oil cooler. So that is going to take it all the way through and make sure that the oil can get out to the oil cooler and back to the engine. This is, I like black hardware on everything. Super solid. Threads are clean, and it looks like these are compression fittings. We'll see more about that on the install and when we look at the instructions on the next video. As always, we get beautiful instructions, and look at that. I mean, even the instructions and the material, your decals that you get is individually packaged and sealed. So, you know, even your paper instructions are coming. We'll look at the instructions on the install video, but I'm already feeling it. It is a nice little thick set, which means, as always, we're going to know what tools we're going to need, and we're going to have a step-by-step to make this very, very easy. Okay, next thing we have is a goodie bag, and I'm just doing a quick look on here. And since we've recently taken the oil cooler off, I'm kind of familiar with the setup, right? We have this adapter plate. So the factory oil cooler actually just has two holes that go, and they just sit and mount flush onto the oil pan. And there are two of these rubber O-rings that seat into it. So the oil cooler is going to come off, and then these two brand new gaskets, O-rings, are going to go into it. And then we have our bolts that are going to 1, 2, 3, 4 hold this adapter plate to the oil pan. Looks like we got some washers there. And then these two fittings, I am not sure off the top of my head what those do, but I am guessing in some fashion they're going to hook into that one of these setups, either on the oil cooler side or on the adapter plate. Probably on the adapter plate, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, right? Because this is double threaded and these are not. So they're going to thread, these two here are going to thread into here, and then from here we're going to thread on these, and then from there onto the hoses. So get that out of the way, and that is our complete kit there as well. Important note, Elevate does sell this adapter plate just by itself. If anybody does want to take advantages of the benefits of an external oil cooler, then definitely you can look into that. But as we saw in the product overview, you know, don't go with some cheap eBay oil cooler. If you're going to go through all the trouble and all the work, get something that is going to be great. Last thing in the box I'm pulling out is the crown jewel here, right? So we're going to open this up again in the foam pillowcase, as I would call it. Let me see if I can get this out with one hand. And this thing isn't a big one. It's wrapped over, folded over, and me banging it like that probably isn't the best, but let's see if we can just grab this real quick and pull it out. Here we go. And now I realize why the box is so dang big, right? I mean, you could probably get all of this, you know, in a smaller box, but Elevate takes pride in the research the development that they do to bring these products to market. And you know what, the extra padding, the extra bubble wrap, the large box, all of this is just a testament to that you know you're getting something that they care about and they want you to care about, and you know they want it to show up and be perfect. So here it is, and we can see this thing's all sealed up too. They don't want anything getting in there, you know, when it's during ship, which it shouldn't with all this safety packaging, but you know, just so when it's sitting here and when I'm shooting a video, I don't accidentally drop a rock or, you know, fart in it. I don't know. And then this is the last piece, right? So this is the guy that's going to go and mount up inside of the core support right there in front of the radiator, behind the grill. But yeah, I mean, I love black, and that's going to fit. But this thing is solid. The size of it, if you were watching the T5 engine rebuild video, you did see the oil cooler that we purchased, the brand new factory replacement. You know, I don't know, the closest thing I have is a can of paint right here, and that's about the size of the factory oil cooler, right? And if we put it side by side, you can see that, you know, this thing is not only, I don't know, 3-4 times the size, but it is also going to be on the front of the vehicle, taking in all that airflow. So I really think the cooling capacity on here is going to be 1,000,000 times better. Plus it just gets some things out of the engine bay, and you know that with the vendors that they choose to source and put these and develop all this together, that you're really getting a solid product. So the next video again will be the installation of this unit. The good thing is we are going to show you installation of the adapters and the hoses and the fittings on this table right here. So right, we're going to pull the oil pan up here, and you're going to be able to see it close up. It's not going to be some dark video that's under the vehicle, weird angle. I think that's going to help you out. And when we go to install and mount this, we're going to show you it right there in the front core support. We just have to wait till the engine bay is out of paint, so that we, you know, don't put that in and then get any overspray or have to tape it off. Just the engine bay's clean now. So look for that video, and then also that brand new oil cooler that we purchased. We threw all the packaging and receipt away, so we can't return it. $100 part, and we'll be giving that away in the second video to, you know, someone who wants a factory replacement or needs it. So stick around, subscribe, and get notified when the installation of this goes up.